Hello and welcome back to Zeroville and our Zero to Hero Norland challenge. Now in the last episode I did mention that we would potentially be not using the trader anymore due to our taxes. However, I have thought on the matter a little bit more and I have decided to change my mind because here's the thing. If we stop using the trader, then we are going to lose out on the possibility to buy more weapons, and I'm not sure if we can survive just off of bandit camps to supply us with weapons. Additionally, it would be nice to be able to get more paper in case we need to make more trade routes. We may even be running out of iron at some point, although we do have a second mine for it. Additionally, it may be kind of nice to actually start to build our own tool production so that we can actually make our own weapons as well. All this to be said is it would be nice to actually continue to make use of the trader. So, because of this, we have to basically start thinking about our warriors. And I think the best solution is going to be to basically build up our warriors from the ground up. And this means that we are going to be getting rid of a lot of these warriors. And this should take down the amount of tax that we are having to pay. Now, right now is actually the best time for this because we are not surrounded by bandits. We have really no enemies to worry about at the moment. We do just have Ugrad, but we are potentially going to force them into vassalization, although I think we may end up holding off on that temporarily. But basically, we are going to get rid of these top warriors, and this is kind of unfortunate. Now, we're going to keep this guy because I already tested, and this guy actually has a pretty good tax amount. I think he's done quite a bit of training. We're going to get rid of a few other of these guys as well. Let's say keep these two, and we're going to keep this guy because he is a loyalist. And we are basically going to get rid of everybody else except for our loyalists. Now this gets rid of a strong amount of our army, but it keeps us with a total of 17, which is actually pretty good. We should be able to make do with that. Let's see here. Yes, I think that is everybody that we wanted to get rid of. Yes, okay. So we have 17 people, 201 now in taxes instead of almost 500. That is a lot better. And these two guys are, I think they were like 6, or about 18 in taxes each. So they're pretty decent for the skill that they have. And as far as the rest, we're keeping them because they're loyalists with a pretty decent tax margin on them as well. Now this does take us down to only a 3 in average combat skill, whereas previously we had an average of 6 combat skill and a total of 28 people. Now another thing we are going to be doing is we're going to need to take down the amount of guards that we're making use of. We're going to do 4 on the day patrol just so that we have some people over here to defend our lumberers because we do need more wood. But we are going to take the night patrols down to 3, I think. Just enough that they can handle any amount of vagabonds or cutthroats that try to attack somebody in their sleep, but not much more than that, so that everybody gets the right amount of sleep, and hopefully that increases the amount of people that go to the training ground every day. Now, other than that, I think we had Sadibor going to force neutrality, and yes, he is, on Ugrad. We're actually going to cancel this just for the time being. Now, I did want to start another trade route with Vasna, but I think we can go ahead and stock up on meat a little bit first. So for right now, we're just going to ignore this. And instead, we're actually going to support Vasna here against Kriege. They're having a conflict between their neighbors, so Sadibor will be heading out to do that. So basically, what's going to be happening in this episode, and potentially the next 2 episodes maybe, I'm hoping it'll only take 1 episode, but we'll basically just be trying to train as many of these warriors as possible. And we're actually going to be taking every single person from the peasantry that we possibly can and put them into the army as well. This means that our taxes will increase by 9 for each one of these people, and if we can get them up to around 10 combat skill each, or even a little bit higher, that will make us a lot stronger in total, while also having a much cheaper army. So that is the goal right now, and hopefully this helps us with the taxes so that we can dominate economically even more than we already have been. However, this does mean that potentially I will be skipping through a lot. Of course, this is Norland, so random things can happen that you weren't expecting, and that could mean that I need to discuss with you guys a little bit more. But otherwise, I may just have to skip through a lot of what I am doing, because the main goal right now is just to train our warriors. So that is pretty much it for the moment, but I will let you guys know if I need to discuss anything else with you guys. Oh yes, and so just another thing, so we do have meat, and currently the price is very low. We're actually going to keep it at about 8. That's usually the price that it is, that we can sell it for to the trader. Right now that is just not the case because of that that prophecy is going on, so the price is increased. But what we're going to do, we don't want them to be sold to peasants. This could introduce the speculators, I think. I don't know if you're only selling meat or selling a certain item only to warriors, for instance, right? I don't know if this actually allows speculators, because speculators come from vagabonds, as far as I understand. And vagabonds should probably count as peasants. Unemployed peasants, yeah, so I think these would count more as peasants. So what I think we're going to try to do, and this is going to be kind of a test, I don't actually know if this is going to work, but we're going to build a second market, and we're going to set this one for warriors only, and allow them to purchase meat there. And this one will just disallow meat selling, and yeah, we're going to see if we can allow peasants, or allow warriors to buy meat from here, and this should help them with their mood, because their mood is pretty bad. And I'm hoping that this will actually improve things, but we will have to see. Okay, so we did go ahead and support Vasna in that little conflict they had with Kriege. Now we are also starting a trade agreement here with Vasna for the meat. I just decided to have Sadibor do that while he is over here, so we're going to be selling it to them for about a little over 15, it looks like, per piece, which is pretty good for us. It's actually a very good price, and that will help us substantially as we try to expand. Now, due to all these open jobs we currently have, and the fact that we only even have one criminal right now, we're going to go ahead and bring the scaffolding down to just the one worker. There's nothing else we can really drop, I don't think. Maybe the mine, but I do actually need iron still. Looks like we need 5. We only need 5, so we actually have enough iron. Okay, we could probably go ahead and bring this down to just one worker as well then. And that should just about cover all of the jobs that we have. And we'll just bring the builders down to 2. Okay, our alchemy lab is finished, and we're going to go ahead and we'll have Dewar take care of it. And that means we're going to need to move something else over to Sadibor, probably all of these. Yeah. So Sadibor will basically almost exclusively be taking care of rutabaga fields now. And we will have Dewar take care of the brewery. And is there anything else over here? I think he's already taken care of everything. Yes. Okay. As you can see, we do need tools even to upgrade to the 2nd level of Alchemy Lab. So we're going to go ahead and start that now. I'm going to make sure I didn't start another one of these upgrades. I don't think we did. I know we were thinking about it, but I don't think I actually queued it. Alright, I just want to make sure. I did not, okay. So we are going to use the tools on this. We'll set it to build first. And we're going to go over to our production, and we are going to set this up to 200. It's probably fine. And are we okay on moonshine amount? We're probably going to drop this down, because it is kind of extreme. I don't want them to take all of the rutabaga out of storage. So that looks good. And then we do have another alliance proposal here from Ugrad, and we're probably just going to take it once Sadibor is done with his inspections on the day, which he is not doing, of course. Yes, there we go. And once he's done with that, I mean, it's free 300 gold, so I don't see any reason not to, and we can always just leave it eventually if we need to. Now, here we are back at the trader, and unfortunately the paper price is still increased, so we're just going to not buy it this time. We will probably buy a little bit more spears. We're probably going to just leave the maces, but we will also take some shields. And we have enough armor, but we may go ahead and buy 5 of those. That's another 865 gold that we are spending. Now look at this, the meat price is still up to 17 right now, so we will go ahead and sell a few of these. This is despite the fact that the market is already saturated. So we'll do that, and we do still have the mine upgrade. We're going to go ahead and buy, I'll say, 4 rings. This is going through a lot of our money now, but I think that this is probably a good idea. Let's go ahead and look at books first, though. There's not really anything here. The only thing would be if we decide to go for the workshop or military logistics. Now, the price on this book is 304. I forgot what the exact paper price. Let's take a look really quick. If we go and write, you need 9 paper, and usually paper sells for 31. So that's, let's say, about what, 270 to 280 or something gold to buy the paper, and then you would sell the book for about 301. Okay, well that is absolutely not worth it. I was just thinking, because Sadboard does have some extra time on his hands, potentially it would be a good idea to write books, but that takes multiple days, and to make only 30 gold seems pretty terrible. We're going to go ahead now and send Sadboard to take care of this alliance, though. And apparently Dwar was bribed again. So that's minus 26 to his loyalty, unfortunately, but not too important at the moment. We'll have Sadabor give him a reward when he makes it home. Okay, we accepted that alliance proposal and got another 300 gold, which Sadabor is now on his way home with. Do we want to just immediately break free, though? I feel like, because this will actually deteriorate our relation by 30, which will make them actually finally dislike us, and they have liked us for a good long time, so I'm not going to do it now, because I don't want to lose the ability to actually start a trade route with them. However, maybe I should just have him Flesh Wolf hunt. I'm just a little worried that it'll get him killed, but he's already over here, so we might as well do it. Okay, so we did finish the hunt, and now we have a plus 39 relationship with them, but I think because we'll get the minus 30 for leaving the alliance, and we'll also lose the plus 15 for being in the same alliance, so that should be minus 45 in total, potentially. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually just start this trade now, even though we don't actually have the items. We can just not send them right away, of course. They'll do that automatically. So we'll start this first, and then we'll leave the alliance. And that should reactivate the... because there seems to be like kind of a cooldown where they'll invite us to an alliance again if we just aren't in one. So honestly, it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal to just leave immediately, because we can actually kind of just siphon gold off of them by doing this. Seems a little bit broken to me, but we will take the advantage. So we are no longer mutually bound, and they are still plus 4 to us due to this trade route, mainly. As long as they don't cancel it, and it doesn't look like they're going to. So that's good. Now we do have a couple more loyalists, and we're going to go ahead and just bring them immediately into our army. Now, we do have 3 unemployed as well. Hopefully we start getting a little bit more migration, but if we have unemployment, then that's not going to be as likely to happen. So we'll go ahead, and I would rather have open jobs rather than unemployment. And we do have forest bandits in the area. I'm a little worried about actually trying to take care of this when we don't have enough medical cells, but we have 17 that are actually in the alchemy lab right now, so it should be okay. We actually should be able to manage the trade route, assuming, let's see. Yes, that upgrade already went through, so it is level 2 now. And we have a total of 200 that are going to be cooked. Well, actually, more like 215 or so. And we only have, what is that? About 240 that will be sent through this trade route over the entire lifetime of it. So we should get tribute again in how long? 4 days. Okay, so we should definitely be able to have like an extra 40 or so left over aside from what we are trading. So this should be okay. We'll go ahead and take care of this bandit camp then. And we will send Neva, of course, who I think is probably getting pretty old at this point, by the way. Something that we're going to have to be considering. We're just gonna send just about everybody. We'll keep the absolute weakest people behind, so that they can still train. This gives us 15, which still doubles their numbers. Pretty good. And everybody will have armor. And everybody just about has shields as well. And we'll send as many spears as possible and maces. Now, it says 64%, but we are doubling their numbers. So as long as they don't recruit even more people, this should be perfectly fine for us. Now, we did get a guest, and unfortunately it is not the Scriptonic, but it is the Nectar Merchant. And I'm thinking we may actually go ahead and purchase these. They are only going to be 71 for all of that. So I don't see any reason not to do that. Normally, I think these would be a lot, these would be a lot more expensive at the actual trader. So that actually seems worth it. And then what we can do, we can just put the, drug den, we can just put it anywhere out here, really. Maybe over here, because that is a little closer to their houses. Because with this, they'll move 30% faster while they're on Nectar, and they will also have a positive thought, need for rest is rapidly refilled, and of course the productivity and movement speed, while skills are also temporarily improved. So all of that seems pretty good. It would actually be nice to, for loyalists to actually make use of that, because then they will have a stronger combat skill when we actually move them into the army. But for the most part, it is for the productivity, and hopefully we can actually manage this without them all being super addicted and being unable to actually buy the nectar from the trader and such. So this is a little bit of a risk, but I think it's a good idea. It could get us a lot more rutabaga, which could refill our moonshine stocks, which would be very good. Now here we are at the bandit camp. This may be a little bit more of a difficult one, just because everybody is a little bit lower level here. We have a bunch of lower level people. However, hopefully they can still manage okay. They all have armor, so these arrows shouldn't do too much damage. And we do want to keep Neva alive, so go ahead and have everybody else get into the fight first. Looks like somebody went down. Okay, just the one though. And they survived, it looks like. Yep, they did survive. Okay, we did get 175 gold and another prisoner. Now, currently Sadabar has another desire. This one is actually an obsession. He wants to go see Perla, so we'll probably have to do that soon. But not right now, because he's already been gone for a while, so he has a lot of backed up inspections at the moment, unfortunately. Okay, so our market and our drug den are actually complete. So we're going to go ahead and set this market to warriors only. We'll allow them to eat rutabaga, meat, and everything else we can go ahead and take off. And make sure that this one is set up only for peasants. Perfect. So now we do have to have 2 traders, which is kind of the trade-off here. But we can allow maybe, let's just allow just enough meat for every single warrior to actually get some, and we will see how this goes. Now, the typical price is actually 9, so we're going to increase it. We're going to try to delay any spectating too much. We'll set it to 10 each. Now, we do once again have the trader and a pretty good price on meat once again, which we'll go ahead and make ample use of. And that is about all that we're probably going to sell. We do have this prisoner, of course. And we still have to give 113. This is why it's probably a good idea for us to keep trying to lower our tax as much as possible. Fortunately, the paper price is still increased. We may go ahead and push this down the line a little bit. See, as you can see, nectar is 17 from these guys. It's not great. Probably not going to, yeah. Okay, so we may just kick this can down the line and, well, I don't want to keep the prisoner either because he takes a job from one of our peasants. We will go ahead and just make this trade, even though it is sending gold away. Should be okay. Now, as far as the drug den goes, we are going to prevent warriors for now, just because I don't want them to all end up addicted. And we will allow selling of nectar. And we do still have 6 open jobs as well. So hopefully we start to get a little bit more migrants. It would be nice, now that we have Dewar and Sadibor managing inspections, if we could get maybe up to around 100 peasants and jobs for all of them. That would require us probably to have another rutabaga field or two. But either way, this is looking pretty good for us right now. We're going to start the upgrade on this and maybe even go back to the trader to buy some tools. Yes, he does have tools. Okay, we'll buy 5 of these just so we can upgrade that alchemist lab, because we can always snooze this at any point that we need to, but it would be nice to get through some of these herbs as fast as possible. But either way, I think that's going to be it for this episode. So we have made a little bit of progress, but there are still a lot of warriors that need to be trained. It looks like we got a fair bit of them, though, leveling up here. But still more work to be done on that front, and no more peasants to actually hire, it doesn't look like, no. But we do have a Varn right here that we will go ahead and hire. And that is 23 total warriors, about to be 24. It still says an average of 3 combat skills, so I guess we haven't actually increased that much. But I have seen a lot of warriors over here training during the day, so either way, we are making progress, and hopefully in the next episode we can start to see a lot more warriors. Uh-oh, looks like somebody is deserting. I think that was probably that level 1 guy who was, yeah, he was pretty upset for some reason. Let's say, Fatal Fatigue, Tasteless Rutabaga, It's probably because of our lack of moonshine right now, which is because Sadibor left the city, so all of these Rutabaga fields were not being inspected. But either way, that should be it for this episode, and I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.